You wanna know how to get tomatoes this tall? You have to water them. But watering takes special care and time that we don't always have. So that's why I'm gonna teach you how to automate your watering. So you can just turn it on, forget it, and it'll still water. This is our tomato garden and then our mixed vegetable garden. So this can be done at any size. We have a relatively small garden space, so this setup will cost you about $150 Canadian, cheaper if you're American, most likely. And you can scale it up as big as you want. We were using this on our farm, which was 20 acres, and we also had it on a 2-acre small farmer market garden. So automating your garden is essential for you, especially if you're a little bit forgetful on watering every now and then, if you're going away, or if you just want to plant it and forget it and get some good sized vegetables like this. I'm going to take you step by step through each of the processes, and by the end of this, you will have a completely automated garden. So this consists of a few parts. These are our irrigation tubes. This comes in a nice little roll. These ones are about 100 feet. You can get as many as you want. This will connect straight to your water line at your house. And then we have our hardware pieces. So we have our tape connectors, elbows, and our tees. You're gonna need a couple of these. For this setup, we have 15 elbows, we have 6 tees, and we have 20 hose connectors. And finally, we have our drip tape, and this drip tape is what's gonna actually water your garden. So this is an 8-inch drip tape, which means that there are little tiny holes every 8 inches on this tape. So when this is connected and the water pressure fills it up into a circular tube, the water will just drip out of the sections where the holes are. And that will give you a nice little bulb of water in your garden. This stuff is really good stuff. You can use a soaker hose, but not recommended. Really do like the drip tape a lot better than soaker hose, and it's also much better, more accurate than sprinklers. So for the first step of the setup, we're gonna lay the drip tape along the rows of our garden. We've got 5 rows here, so I'm gonna lay out 5 rows along the length. I have these snips. You can use X-Acto knife, scissors, whatever you want. And then I also have zip ties to kink the end of the hose so that the water pressure can't escape. When you're starting a drip tape row, the most important thing is to plug the end. There are special plugs you can get, but we like the old-fashioned, cheap, easy zip tie method. So you wanna fold this in half. Generally, you wanna double fold it in half because the pressure can build up quite a bit. So you're gonna take about an inch, fold it in half, and then fold another inch. It really depends what pressure you're working with, but I find that this works really well. So then I just take a zip tie and zip tie it really tight. There you go. So it'll look like that. You basically create a whole little pressure stopper. That way the water will run through this, it'll get to the end, it can't go any further, it'll come back, and you'll just have a huge pressurized hose, and that's where the water will drip out. So the other thing you want to take a look at is where your holes are, so you can start laying them down on your garden. Okay, so I found my first length. I'm gonna cut it right here. Then I'm just gonna take this, line it up with my other one, and cut 5 of these. Okay, so I've laid out my 5 pipes. You can see that they are all in the line of the rows, and now I'm ready to put on the header hose. So here is my tube. This is the header hose that we're going to use to connect to our drip tape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it along. So the first thing I'm going to do on this hose is I'm going to kink it like the other ones because I don't want the water spraying out. Because this is a thicker plastic, the water holds a little better like this. I mean, the line holds better with just one kink. You don't have to do a double one like the other one. And so we just zip tie it. I have bigger zip ties for this. You can use a rope as well or string. Not as recommended, but you use what you got. You want to make sure it's down far enough on the hose though, because when the pressure does get in there, it does build up and it can fly, like fling these things off the end. I have seen it. I'm gonna put this along the back side of my garden. My garden is split in two, so this is the back side of the front where I just put the other section. All right, so see how it is along the back, straight like that, and then I'm gonna cut it right here. I have a hose cutter, but again, there are different tools for this type of thing. All right, nice clean cut. So I have this tool, it's about $1 online, pokes holes in this. We have used before like drill bits. Lie this along the length of the garden here and start by finding my first spot. It's right here, marking it. So I'm gonna mark this right here. So we poke a hole in it with this tool, and this is where we're gonna put the drip tape connector. It has a little tiny spigot that goes in there and locks in. And we're gonna do that along the whole length of the thing. So keep it on the blue side so that it is consistent. Now we have these hose connectors which connect the header tube to the drip tape and they go into the holes. I have one already attached here. You have to attach them all the way up. Okay, so after you've put in all of your drip tape connectors, you connect the drip tape. It's just a little screw that you screw on and you put the drip tape on, and then you'll have a system that looks like this. This is a relatively short bed, so there's all the drip tape rows on the header. So let's put this along the garden and we'll see how it works. Typically you'd be building this in the spring when you're doing your irrigation before you even have your rows fully planted. So you wouldn't have all of this, all of these to mess with, but this is just for demonstration right now.